Interwebs, it's your boy. Gotta stop saying that. I hate that expression. I was gonna do an episode about fake news, but there's so many caveats to it, and it's been so much time. I hope to do an episode, but I wanted to be more in depth. There's so many aspects to this. But I want to talk about this Russian hacking. I'm trying to make a short video. Just got a new camera, just for all to know. So if you notice the video looks better, that's because I got a new camera. It's January 10th. Last week, that report came out. The declassified Russian intelligence report came out. And yeah, it's some old bullshit. There's nothing in there. Oh, you're saying there's nothing new. Well, that's not exactly what I'm saying. There is, and I'm going to put in quotes here, there is no evidence. There's nothing suggesting that the Russians hacked anything. And, you know, you're kind of left to infer what the fuck happened. I mean, that's not an intelligence assessment. Maybe the declassified version says, yeah, we had, you know, we tracked these IPs, they're all within Russian territory, and we tracked it to the MAC address of DNC, you know. And even still, there's other problems with that too, because what did they actually hacked? If you're saying they hacked the DNC, well, DNC is not a government organization. They're just not. They're an independent entity. As a matter of fact, that's how they were able to cheat Bernie Sanders during the election. They used the excuse that they're a private organization and they don't have to fucking play fair. So they can do that. So, you know, when the FBI actually requested, and this is kind of funky too. I don't know for sure because I've read multiple stories that the FBI requested the DNC server, you know, for forensic investigation to find out what the fuck happened, and the DNC said no, you're not doing that. And they can do that because once again they're a private organization. They're not a official part of the U.S. government. They're a private organization that nominates a candidate for public office, but that's not the same as being directly part of the government. They can't really do anything if they say no to an investigation. I mean, if it's not, you know, criminal. So, and the other aspect to that is that so that's one aspect of it. The other aspect is that there really isn't much in here. A lot of it pertains to a a big network called Russia Today. And it says all over this damn thing how they influence by simply them reporting on the corruption within our government. That's, you know, and that's the thing people need to know too. Independent media, foreign press does a better job of investigating and covering stories that the mainstream media completely misses or, you know, ignores. So like stuff like 9/11. As far as all the big networks that I saw covering 9/11, like what actually happened, somebody called conspiracy theory. No, it's, you know, 3 buildings fell in New York, 2 planes hit 2 buildings. You know what I mean? And they all fell at free fall speeds. You know, you can look this up. This is easy information to find, and there's really no good excuses. There just isn't. So having those questions, they did a better job of investigating 9/11. And while most networks ignored it to call people conspiracy theorists who even question the official story, the changing official story. So they've done a great job of doing that over the years since, 2001, since the 9/11 attacks. So they and they have a very, very attractive and smart anchor lineup. I talked to the reporters before. I was in New York a couple times. I'm going to stop talking about that. Moving on. So there's that. So in a report, it's a lot about Russia Today, saying that they directly influenced the election by covering, doing investigative reporting, covering the Podesta emails, amongst other things, the various Hillary scandals, 2 FBI investigations, all that stuff. So basically, they accuse Russia Today of interfering with the election by simply doing their job. A lot of people are like, well, what about this other mainstream media or other media? They weren't doing that. It's like they were doing some of that, but the most part they were following the official line. They go along. Russia Today doesn't. At least they don't have to do that. They don't because they're foreign press. They're not tied with the same strings of power. They're just not. Matter of fact, the reporters when they're sitting in at some of these press conferences, they accuse of being Russian agents. It's funny as fuck. I've seen interviews and when people get accused of being Russian agents. It's ridiculous. So there's that. And then they cite two specific shows on Russia Today. Breaking the Set and then Truth Seeker. Now, I've watched both these shows, and it's funny enough, I've tried, over the past year to find new episodes, because a lot of times you can just YouTube, Google search that shit and find it. And I found out in these, I read the report, and it's like, oh, I remember those shows. Like, I don't think they even aired. Sure enough, they haven't aired in 2 fucking years. 2 years. So, like, some people are like kind of confused by what I'm saying. Okay, so those 2 shows, Breaking the Set and Truth Seeker, are shows that are accused of pushing Russian propaganda or pushing propaganda that help influence the election, right? That's what they're accusing Russia Today and these specific shows of. But those shows haven't aired in almost 2 fucking years, if not 2 years. So during the entire election cycle, neither one of those shows was airing. It's fucking hilarious. So there's all kinds of garbage like that in this. And like I said, the FBI never actually got the DNC server, so they don't know. There's a third-party company, the name slips my mind. They were the same company that serviced the DNC server, right? So they serviced the DNC server, and the FBI hired the third party to do forensic investigation on the server. So say, for instance, I'm a server admin, right? And I got the RNC servers. And they're hiring me third party to fucking maintain, update, and all that, keep it secure and all that. And I totally fuck up. They get hacked, right? And I'm like, holy shit, we got hacked. Whatevs. And this isn't even like that part of the story isn't even true. They don't even know if they were hacked. They're just saying that they highly suspect they were hacked. But say, for instance, for play devil's advocate, I'm that admin of that company. And it's like, shit, we got hacked. And then a few months later, the FBI asked me, hey, can you investigate or look in the server and tell us what happened or, yada, yada, yada. It's like, oh, yeah, I can do that. And already the RNC screaming, oh, it's Russia this, Russia that. And all I got to say to myself, hey, maybe you can just accuse Russia of doing this. And that's pretty much what they did. So the only thing the FBI and all these 17 other agencies or 16 other agencies have to go on is the word of this third-party company that was also responsible for servicing and maintaining the DNC server. So not only are they the client, you know what I'm saying, they're the fucking president, or not only are they the victim, they're the investigator of the crime. It's ridiculous. I found that really fucking funny. So this whole FBI thing, it's designed, or this whole fucking Russia thing, it's designed to do one thing. It's designed to whip up a fervor for fucking war and escalations with Russia. I've seen headline stories that Russia hacked into this or that, and then when you dig into the meat of the story, there's nothing fucking there. They say Russia hacked an electrical grid. The Washington Post put out a story a few days ago saying Russia hacked an electrical grid of a company attempting to shut it down. They could have shut down the entire East Coast. And you look in the story, and there's a company mentioned there. A reporter outside of the Washington Post went and called them up. It's like, yeah, when were you guys hacked? And they wanted to know some details because they couldn't find it in the fucking story. And they're like, we were never hacked. And, it's like, so that's fucking fake news. They didn't bother even calling up the company that they claimed was hacked to see if they were actually hacked. Basic journalism 101. You get the whole breadth of the story. You just don't rely upon one source or a couple sources. If there's a victim, you might want to talk to that fucking victim. And then you find out what this information came from was they were forced, that company, that electric company was forced to be audited. So their systems are all looked at to see if it's any malware, hacking, etc. They couldn't find anything except on one person's personal, not their work, but their personal laptop. The personal laptop they're bringing to work from time to time. Personal laptop had malware, which could have originated from Russia or out my ass. It doesn't. That was the basics of the story that they pushed, that Russia hacked this electric company. You see what I'm getting at here? It's all bullshit. All of it. There is no story here except they want to scare the living shit out of you into getting prepared for war. Now, I think this is for a few reasons, though. They want to box Trump in to backing some kind of escalation with Russia. He wants to have good relations with Russia. He's been talking about it way before the fucking general election. It's obvious, you know. There's one consistent thing you can say about Trump. I just want to have a good relation with Russia. Or if you're a fucking lefty or somebody who fucking really hates Trump, he's a Russian spy. It's like, get the fuck out of here. He's an unwilling Russian spy. No, dude, if you want to make peace with someone and not escalate tensions, no matter what the fuck happened, that's a good thing. I mean, and the thing about Russia is they got nukes in their first world. We should try everything we can to have peaceful relations with them. There's nothing, there's a lot of bad to be had with escalating tensions and a lot of good to be had to de-escalating tensions with Russia. So I'll say that. But, so they want to box him in. It's clear. That's clear to me already. So, who knows what will happen after January 20th. Maybe he'll try to de-escalate things. Maybe CIA will put more pressure on him to fucking, do what the fuck they want. Because guess what, people? Arms sales are down overall. So we gotta have another fucking war for those arms to keep on fucking moving. We're an empire, man, and it fucking sucks because no matter who's in office, they get pushed, or pulled a certain fucking way, no matter what they came in on. We gotta be drone striking people, we gotta be invading other countries, we gotta be fucking overthrowing regimes all the fucking time, and then while we're doing that, if someone fucking hacks any goddamn thing or attempts to talk positively about anything, they're Russian agents. Like, get the fuck out of here. And the other thing is, too, Hillary Clinton lost $1.2 billion this election cycle. So, for the sake of her backers, Wall Street, the military-industrial complex, the Saudis, all these organizations, everybody who donated money to the Clinton Global Initiative and the Clinton funds and all these fucking money laundering institutions, they have to justify to their backers why they lost, and they got to have a better excuse other than Hillary was unpopular, that Hillary was out of touch, that Hillary was sick, that Hillary had disdain for the public, that Hillary's emails got out, and the public found out that they didn't like her much. There has to be a better excuse. So, Russia. It's got to be Russia, because if it's not Russia, it's her. If it's her, then they look like asses. Why the hell would we donate to the Clinton campaign? Why would we don't donate to the Democrats at all? And the other thing is, too, the DNC. It's funny. I thought before the election, if the DNC lost, they'd be forced to change because they have to. Their tactics of stealing elections, of colluding with mainstream media to back the preferred candidate and pretend to have some kind of democratic process versus actually having a real one, that's fucking failed. They would have to fucking change. Wrong. And the current head of the DNC, who got fired from CNN for giving Hillary Clinton questions saying we have to have investigations or this Russian hacking and all this. So they're doubling down. They're not looking within and saying that, hey, we fucked up. We're supposed to be the party of the people, and we're not that. We need some young blood here, or we need to do something. It's like, nope, it was all Russia. So it's an easy way to write this off. And if people don't know what this tactic is, when they fucking put out massive amount of fucking fake news and false information to kind of like, it's meant to prey on the dumbest amongst us. And you might not understand when I mean that. If I'm running, if I got kids, if I got to go to work, if I got to do all these different things all through the day, and I see I go and click on my fucking news feed and I see headlines like Russia this, Russia that, Russia that, seeing that enough, whether I read the stories or not, and whether I investigate or not, you're probably not, you don't have the fucking time, I'm going to think that Russia had something to do with the election, just because. And that's the point. They want to plant that seed in everyone's mind. So when things ultimately escalate or have to escalate with Russia, that you're already mentally prepared for it. Not like it was a choice, not that anything really happened. It's just that the military-industrial complex, the mainstream media, and all the usual power players have whipped up a fervor for war and already planted that idea that war is inevitable. And they're trying to push the president-elect currently for this. It's all fake news. It's all propaganda. There is no evidence that Russia did any goddamn thing. I'm not the biggest fan of fucking Russia, but they did win World War II. You know, they were our allies, and then they were our enemies. So, you know, I rather would just have peace, because peace will bring some level of prosperity and not amount of fucking destruction and chaos. That's, you know, that doesn't bring any stability. And it's when it's done over nothing, when it's done because intelligence services have run a fucking muck and they'll lie, cheat, and steal. And I'm gonna make this last point. I'm gonna make this last point. CIA, no matter what's in their creed is basically they're not supposed to operate domestically, which is funny enough. They're all over this fucking report talking about domestic shit, and then they're supposed to, like, you know, they're supposed to be fucking secret agents and whatnot. They're supposed to be feeding, you know, have people infiltrating and feeding information back to our government about what our enemies are doing. That's not what they do at all. What they do is lie. They're really great at that, and then overthrow democratically elected governments. That's what they do. Say what you will about what they're supposed to do or what the decree is. That's what the fuck they do. So I'll leave it at that. Blackout.